You know, as a young player, you just want to succeed. You don't care how or where you succeed. Like you can aspire to be a good center forward. But if it shows that you can be a good defender, you can play professional as a good defender. Wow, why not? You just want to succeed. You want to be a successful player. When I realized that maybe I can succeed, I can even go further while playing ahead as a midfielder, I decided to make a switch.
Njibero Durell!
My name is Njibero Durell, a Bamenda-based footballer. Even though, to me, football now is just like, let me say, part-time, another way to hustle. I'm a teacher by profession. I've been playing football for a while. I think I can see 15 years now. 15 years now. I mean, at the top level, not just 15 years at the top level. Though I've not played out of Bamenda, so I can see I'm kind of a local player, as I can tell me. That's as per my decision, because of my main source of income, I've not been able to travel out of town and indulge in what I love to do most, which is football. I grew up in a very small quarter in Bamenda known as Nacho. Like I can say I've lived all my life at Nacho quarters. I grew up with in a quarter where we barely had a field. We barely had a field which we could use, because the field the field at Nacho is a private property, so it's not accessible anytime. So we usually go right down to Atuakum, where there was a small field, usually a handball court. We usually use it for tournaments. That was when I was young, because when I was young, when we were playing barefooted, so we play tournaments barefooted where we emerged champions sometimes. Then I was a captain. I was playing with the likes of Tegemo Emmanuel, Ngami Jemen, who is the captain of Fonchachi now. Because my first opportunity to play football, when I was actually rejected, was during the Top Cup. Yeah, so that was my first opportunity to play an official tournament so I cannot really say someone really introduced me to football. I just loved playing. So I had to leave the house, join some people to play. But if I want to talk about like introduction into football, it's properly, it was Pajo who introduced me to football. I was very passionate about it. So you cannot be passionate about something without dreaming. So I always dreamt of being a superstar. You know, then we knew just Samuel Eto'o. We're not too familiar with TV channels and the rest like that. So we could barely watch CRTV. And then it was Samuel Eto'o and Jeremy Njitab and the rest like that. So I was always looking forward to be like Samuel Eto'o. Like, who do you want to be? We idolized Samuel Eto'o then. So that was just it. We just wanted to be like Samuel Eto'o. You know, when you dream to play football, when you're young, you really just want to do anything for football. There are times where you go to the field and maybe since the outfield players are already complete, you just have to fill in the blank space. That's how it started. So sometimes we'll go to watch matches, like when our elder brothers will play. You just say, okay, when the outfield players are full, they say, okay, complete. We just go to the goal post and fill the space. That's how it started. So we're just making effort. I was doing my best to participate. So when I go to the goal post, I always do my best. That's how I was also encouraged. And one day, during the training session, Pajo also just said, no, since the outfield players were already completed, I should support in the goal. And that was it. So when for match now, the goalkeeper did not come on time. That's how I started playing as a goalkeeper. What actually made me leave the goal, stop being a goalkeeper actually, was we qualified for the national interpose. As a goalkeeper, and I was the captain then even. So when we came now for the Elite 2 Championship, I was sidelined because they were saying I lacked experience. And had a very good championship. I was the sole goalkeeper of my team. That was National Polytech. National Polytech. We sailed through the regional league, came for Interpols, qualified, and I was really one of the best. But then, since I was too young and lack of experience, I was sidelined. Actually, it's really not encouraging, because for me, I believe every player deserves a chance. I played 3 seasons with National Polytech, but I think I had just about 5 matches as a goalkeeper. You can imagine, as a goalkeeper. So in the 4th year, I think it was the 3rd or the 4th year, I decided no, I cannot keep being on the goal. Meanwhile, I can play. I can also play well as an outfield, because when we travel from matches like to the north, I actually traveled to the north as a player, not as a goalkeeper. Meanwhile, I was a goalkeeper then. I usually travel as a goalkeeper, as a player. But when we come down to places like Yaoundé, Bafoussam, I'm the second goalkeeper. When we go to north, I'm outfield player who can aid in any time as a goalkeeper. So I was just being a support for the team, not actually like an important player. I also wanted to play a role to help the team, because I knew I had the potential to play even outfield, even outside the goal. Yeah, one of my most memorable match was the semi-finals against Quen before the finals. The semi-final against Quen during the mini Interpols, the year that Polytech emerged champions. We played against a very good and mature Quen FC. Where in that match I made about 2 triple saves. 2 triple saves. And in the finals too, I even caught in the finals where we played a well-experienced was it Metro Security? I think. Yes, Metro Security. Yes, with the likes of Frank Baresi and Katakis, the rest. So I even caught the penalty during the finals, which was later on scored. So those are one of my memorable matches in
So as a goalkeeper, who did you idolize?
Julius Caesar. Because then Julius Caesar, I was even nicknamed Julius Caesar by one of my teammates, Bate, because then, sincerely, I was good. I was really good. That's why today I'm still called Julius Caesar. The most important aspect is communication. Like now, even at the midfield, I still communicate a lot, because that instinct of communication from the goal is still in me. Like you talk to your players, mutual coaching all the time. You give them information left to right, talk to them. So most of the times it also plays a great role in the team's play. While I was a goalkeeper, I trained a lot. I trained a lot, seriously, I trained a lot. I think most of if you can testify, I jump really high now. Like, it's from the trainings during my goalkeeping period. While, it's completely different being at the goal and being in the midfield. Because the kind of attention you have, the kind of concentration you have at the midfield is completely different from what you have at the goal. Once a goalkeeper makes a mistake, it's already a goal. But at the midfield, you have people to correct and the rest like that. So now at the midfield, you take a lot of risk. You have to build. You have to. So it was a difficult switch. It took me some time. That's why most of the qualities I use now while playing is as a result of a lot of experience watching from the back. Most of the times people say because people they were doubting me. Of course, they were doubting me about like what I could do in the field rather than in the goal, because they did not even want to see me ahead, because they knew I was very good in the goal. But then I was looking for a way to have a better playtime, a better opportunity. Because I'll take you back a bit, because what really made me so sad and decided to go out to switch, make this switch, was it was one of my last years of National Polytechnic, where after the season, the likes of Tegemo, teams were calling them, taking them, contacts were coming in. But because they played more matches, but I was in the goal, I went for almost all the matches, but nobody knew me. Lack of playtime. So I needed that playtime. So I knew perfectly well that going ahead, I'll have more playtime than when I'm in the goal. So that's why I actually decided to make that switch. When I actually realized I could do better, I could do more, was during the playoffs in Douala, where when I had to meet so many good, because then I could not just say, no, I'm a good player, because the league system then was in 2 pools. So, I did not encounter many other midfielders. But during the playoffs, I played almost against all the good players. So I realized that I could dominate offensively, both offensively and defensively. I had to fight for my team. I had to, when you realize that maybe because everyone is good technically, to play for the first division team, for any first division team, you have to be good technically. Now, what more can you do to help or to be more than this person? What do you need? If he's good technically, I have to be good tactically, or both tactically and technically. If he's good offensively, I have to be good both offensively and defensively. For me, that's competition. You have to look for a way to beat your opponent. That means if he's good technically, you have to be good technically, both technically and physically. That's how.
So as a midfielder, which was your breakthrough game? That game that actually made people believe in you?
I think I have 2 games. I think so. The first was against Cotton Sports of Garwa. We had a very tough game, and I had to carry the team through both defensively and offensively, because it was a single goal game, and I was the one in match who scored that goal. Before then, I was everywhere on the pitch. So that was the first, and the second, though it was a very like I said, you just have to do the right thing at the right time. Against Dynamo, the match we won 3-2, I think. Yes, 3-2, where I took a red card too, even though it was just for my team. But that was actually my breakthrough game. Most at times I put the team before my personal objectives. Yeah. So when I play, the truth is, when you play for yourself, you might make a lot of errors. But once you play for the team, you make a lot of good impression, give a lot of good impression. So for me, I just really think maybe we have to change our mindset about how we see the game. If you're playing for the team, play for the team. The rest will come. Because if you start playing for yourself, you might lose the objective. If you're playing for yourself, like for instance, if you're playing for yourself, the team might never attain your objective. You can attain your objective through the team's objective. That's what I can say.
With both?
I feel better with assist. Though I love goals, I feel better with assist. Assist, that's why I said I prefer team glory than personal glory. For pressure and what people see, it really doesn't bother me. It really does not bother me. Because people who know you will not talk about you without asking you. I can say football to me is like an addiction. An addiction. Because despite what I do professionally, I still manage to play. To me, it's just an addiction. It's just the love for the game. the love for the game. Because once I realized that maybe I cannot help because it's not in the, like I said, I always put the team before me. Once I realized that maybe I cannot give a plus, I cannot be a plus to a team, or I'll actually have to stop. But then, for now, I think once I can give an aid to any team, I'll be there. So I don't really have any other motivation. It's just the love for the game.
So if you are to give a message to that your young self, that young goalkeeper who was a hero for many youth tournaments and then brought National Polytechnic to Elite 2 football, what message would you say to him?
There is a saying that we can choose, we can propose, but God chooses for us. So I can only say we tried. I tried, but for every young goalkeeper who finds himself in that kind of position, don't give up. Don't give up. For me, it did not work out because maybe I never had the chance or the luck, because these things also go with luck. Maybe for me, I did not have the luck. But life is, you must be persistent. You work persistently. That's the secret. Because despite me not succeeding with my goalkeeping career, I did not give up on football. Like I still worked to play. That the decision to go to be an outfield player did not mean that if I had the opportunity to catch somewhere else, to be a goalkeeper somewhere else, I would not go. I just had to make a decision to make a switch where I was comfortable. But now football too, you cannot play football just where you're comfortable too. Let's not just give up. You keep working, work and believe. That's just it.
So, who has been the biggest influence in your professional career?
Coach and Njibero Frankie. Because through this, I have two of them. We have souls in place and Coach and Njibero Franklin. They are the coaches who really believe in me. They know what I can do. You know, just like you say, just like they say, you can do everything with the confidence they give you. And I think I've always lived up to the expectation because I don't disappoint. I don't misuse confidence. Truly, my first and honest appreciation goes to my mom, my late mom. Because even despite, your mom may just want you to succeed no matter what. At one moment, she was like, I don't even see where this football can take you to. Stop this thing, go to school. But when I signed my first contract for Young Sport, it was about 450,000 francs. I brought it home. It was like, wow, that football will give money, eh? And she was like, let's do it. Then again, she was one of the reasons why I went back to school. So I really appreciate her for everything she did. My elder sister too, because she was the one who saw me through school and everything. I went back to school. You can imagine, I went back to school. My family has been with me all through this period, and I do really appreciate them. I appreciate my friends too, most especially Tegomo Emmanuel, because we're actually child friends. We grew up together. We fought many battles for real. The secret of this is just rest when you have the opportunity. So I create enough time for rest because I can go for training in the morning. I have class in the afternoon. What else can I do? I just rest when I have the time, have enough rest, and that's it. It's been the secret of managing these two fields. And
your students, knowing their teacher is a top professional footballer, how do they react? How do they feel?
Most it was sound funny, but most of the times, especially when I was playing at Niboom, I usually meet them at the field like, sir, I was like, I don't know what I see. I really feel proud at times because they actually look up to me too. Because I usually tell them like, football or whatever you're doing cannot stop you from studying. So I usually use myself like an example, and most of the times I can tell you, I can boldly say I've changed. This is my advice. I've really transformed so many of them. You know how technical students are. Yeah, because some of them, they were like, they just stopped school, and they was like, I said, no pity. This football like this it can go with everything. Okay, look at me. I might not play. So I use myself like an example, a point of reference for them. So and they usually listen, and they appreciate too. When I'm one of my classes are one of the most attended classes in the school. So because they always want to, I really, even in the course of teaching, I educate them about how life is too, using myself as a point of reference.
We cannot end this without talking about Njibero, the Cameroon international. How did you receive your call up to the Intermediate Lions?
Sincerely, I was shocked. I was shocked. I actually felt so honored, and I felt happy because finally I had the chance to show what I'm made of. Most of us have not had this opportunity. Most of us players in Bermuda, we've never had this opportunity. No West, we've not had this opportunity. So this was one of the best opportunities I had, and I could not let it pass by or misuse it. I used it judiciously. There was nothing much I could say apart from saying we were not only disappointed, we were regretting about losing this opportunity because we were actually hoping for a platform where we can sell ourselves. That's qualifying for the Shan was an opportunity for us to sell ourselves, and everything had to go down. Sincerely, it's one of the moments of my football career I don't really like talking about. It was like I saw the end of the tunnel, a light at the end of the tunnel. Then I could not make it. I could not make it through. It was really disappointing.
Leaving Yosa to Dream Team, many criticized, but here you are now for the national interpose with Dream Team. How does that feel?
I always use some wise saying. There are periods where you realize that for you to jump higher, you have to make a step backward. It's not done yet. I'm assuring you that life is just about opportunities. You can be at the wrong place at the right time and at the right place at the wrong time. So don't just let everything flow. I don't want to explain why I'm here or why the reason why I'm here, but success can come from anywhere. It's not like because you can be. There are players who have played at the first division for 15 years and have gone nowhere. There are players who are playing at the professional, who are even playing in Europe now, who have never played the first division in Cameroon. Good. So, like I said, you can take a step back to jump higher. Taking a step back does not mean that's all about you. You can make a step back if you want to jump higher. That's what I've done.
There are young footballers looking up to you, your teammates, and many others. So, what message do you leave for these young, aspiring footballers?
There's the sole message I have for them is football. Football can save souls. It paves the way for a bright future. But don't depend solely on football. While working, be planning. While training, be planning. Because today, like for instance, you don't know what can happen tomorrow. You don't know the kind of injury you can have tomorrow. So you always plan. Have a plan B, have a plan A. If you hear everyone can succeed with football, but not everybody has a chance to succeed. So what if it doesn't work for you today? Who do you turn to? If you're going to school If you're, for instance, if you have time for the young footballers, because now there's a lot of commitment playing for an elite team. You have time. You may not have time to train. So you have a lot of training. You train like twice a day, and you don't have time for other things. For the small money you're working, you save them. Save them for future purposes. I'm talking out of experience. There are so many footballers who are kind of frustrated now because while they were playing, they were living according to them, they were living their dreams. They forgot that there's a tomorrow. Not everyone can succeed with football, so you plan. Have a plan B. If you have the opportunity to do something else, you learn, you do, you work. You can look for a side job or you can go to school. For those who still have the time, go to school. You can go to school. Football. Not everyone can succeed with football. I'm saying so because even while I left for school, I came back. I think I can still they're still talking about my career, football career. There are people who are not still playing. And I still have a better career in football. But now, what are they doing? So we should learn from the mistakes of our elders and try to correct them. Those who are still in the academies and still coming up, please, go back. Try to go to school. Have your certificate. It's very important. Please, I'm begging, please. Don't neglect going back to school. Thank you.